Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez ripping into the Supreme Court for siding with the Trump administration on its public charge immigration rule, at least for now. They have the highest court in the country temporarily allowing this policy, which would reduce the number of immigrants using American welfare, as this is going to be debated in the Supreme Court. So what's the problem here? Here to explain, former DHS Oversight Counsel and Senior Advisor Mike Howell. A lot of people are going to take issue with this. Mike, tell us why.
Well, you know, if AOC and the squad and the others want to change longstanding immigration law, they can do that because they're in Congress. But the bad news for them is this is widely popular amongst the American people. Some 73% support the proposition that immigrants should be able to support themselves and not be a strain on our welfare system. So this is longstanding. It's promises kept, promises delivered for this administration, and it'll get our immigration system back to an orderly, working process that actually serves American interests.
Here's the tweet from Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. This is shameful. America shouldn't have a wealth test for admission. It's a place where millions of people are descendants of immigrants who came with nothing and made a life. The American dream isn't a private club with a cover charge. It's the possibility of remaking your future. One thing that a lot of people forget, though, is when you look back at the immigration wave that built this country, when those people came here, we didn't have food stamps. We didn't have public housing. You came here on a wing and a prayer. And if you made it, you made it.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. And there's different immigration needs at that point in time than there are today. It's not the same world that it was then. And, you know, how Ellis Island was set up has a lot of differences today. There was all sorts of tests on Ellis Island, to include mental health testing and physical testing that we don't see today. So if I was AOC, I wouldn't go for an exact, switch back to Ellis Island times. America is the most generous and compassionate nation by far right now.
Here's the acting Homeland Security Secretary, Ken Cuccinelli. This was his take on it. DHS has always been confident that an objective judiciary would reverse the injunctions imposed on public charge by judges playing politics and using their position to impose nationwide injunctions to further their policy preferences. Do you think the Supreme Court will let this policy stand?
Yeah, I do. It's pretty plain in the law that there's a public charge test for admission into this country. What DHS did was, interpret that law, and they did so through a very robust and transparent rulemaking process.
A lot of countries in the world have a lot tougher, regulations to get into, and stipulations for you to come in than the United States does. We're not that tough on people. I want to ask if some of the policies that the Sanders and the Warrens are implementing, free health care, free college education, if you blend that with the kind of ideas that would take away this public charge stipulation, would we have a border rush in this country if you made it easier to get in with all these free things?
Yeah, those policies make about as much sense as ordering a salad at Burger King. I mean, they want to give everything away and let everyone in. It doesn't take, much common sense to understand that just will not work. And also, the American people don't want it. Americans are very generous, very compassionate. We have asylum programs, refugee programs. But we don't want to have is an absolute open mass welfare state and open borders. Those two things cannot survive together.
Yeah, combined together. Mike, thank you so much for your time. We do appreciate it.
Thank you.